All right, thank you for staying with us. It's time for us to move on very quickly now to this part of Sports Tonight. But let me quickly introduce to you those that will be handling this part of the show with me. Let me introduce someone who has not been here before. If I'm correct, I think he's not been here before. We've seen him so many times on this show, on TV from far away, but he's right here with us, seated close to us. Ard Cluis is the Dutch coach of Warri Wolves, and earlier on today, they came to the Onikon waterfront, as we used to call it. They came, they saw, they didn't quite conquer, but you mean, when you lose, you fight, you live to fight another day. The last time they came to the Southwest, they went to Ibadan, and they got an away win over 3SC, but the Korodu United had different ideas today. But it doesn't stop us from welcoming our good friend, the Dutchman, Ard Cluis. Good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, your first time on the show.
First time on the show, first time in Nigeria. I'm enjoying myself thoroughly over here. It's an interesting experience altogether. I live in the United States, where I came from just now. Born in Holland. I live in Germany, live in England. I've seen a lot of different types of footballers, and I'm really impressed with Nigerian football.
Now you have to live in Nigeria.
Now I live in Nigeria, and with a lot of fun,
a lot of fun. Yeah. And of course, that guy is also here with us. Onyebuchi Majuku, that's the news editor of Sporting Life, one of Nigeria's best-selling sports dailies, is also with us on Sports Tonight. Guys, good to have you around on the show. For you, it wasn't a very good welcome to Lagos. You've been to Lagos before?
Yes. Actually, I like Lagos a lot. This is my 5th time, I think, in about 2.5 months I'm here. I love the beach, I love the weather. I live in Southern California. The weather is very alike, temperature-wise, although it's much more humid over here. Asaba and Warri, a lot more rain in Warri than over here.
All right, so today wasn't a good day for him.
No.
But let's start with the results of games played today. About 8 games were played today. We're supposed to have 9 games, but 8 eventually were played. 8 games were played. We'll talk about the 9th game that wasn't played in Ilorin for obvious reasons you already know. We'll talk about it. The Rangers game was also put on hold because the LMC somehow want Rangers to get ready for the Friday night game. But the team they will be playing, Heartland, played today.
Oh, yeah. I even thought that the game would be postponed.
Yeah.
Because Heartland came back from...
Heartland were complaining.
They came back from Kano on Monday, and they said, it will not be too, to affect them.
They have to play 6 games in 3 days.
On Tuesday they will rest and play on Wednesday. But somehow they managed to play the game, ended goalless.
Maybe the reason why they couldn't really pull through against the Plateau. They will always tell us that maybe fatigue slowed them down a little bit. That was why they couldn't really finish off Plateau United in Owerri.
But when you travel almost 15 hours, 20 hours on the road from Kano to the east, there's no way fatigue will not affect you.
All right, let's see if we can get the results of the games played today, 8 of them, and then we will talk about those games and also reflect on the game that wasn't played. But before that comes on screen, let me come to you, Ard. What do you see in terms of how our teams play these games? You played on Sunday. I saw your game on Sunday against Sunshine. You have to play again on Wednesday. Then you play again this weekend. Is that helping you to get the better out of your players? Or you feel that the boys can cope with the number of games they're playing?
In itself, I don't think the amount of games is the problem. It's more the philosophy that I'm trying to implement in the club. So I'm looking for training time and practice time. So I think we're better off in practicing more and introducing the philosophy to the club, training the way how I envision us see playing, and of course game after game after game takes away the practice time that we have. So we only practice like Mondays and Fridays, but traveling Tuesdays, game on Wednesdays, and then back on Thursday. So that impacts us a little bit. But ultimately, I'm very pleased with how the boys are responding. We have a number of new players already playing with us. I think we have over like 50 or 55 players just playing, practicing with us like a couple of days ago. So we're building, and I have good faith in creating something really exciting and lasting for Nigeria.
Well, as a Dutchman, we know what the Dutch philosophy is with football. The Dutch play a lot from wide areas. a lot of pace. They try to possess the ball. Is that the kind of philosophy that you're trying to bring into Warri Wolves? Or do you I mean, you're well-traveled. You've lived in Germany. You've lived in the US. You've done a lot of your trainings outside of Holland. Is that also going to impact on the kind of philosophy that you are going to be pushing to Warri Wolves? Last year they finished second on the log,
yes.
And they played some exciting attacking football. Yes. Is that your philosophy?
Why play? In one sentence, we want to create a beautiful football with result. If you see Dutch coaches are very much in wanting to control midfield. If you have midfield, control midfield, you control the game. So we're very focused on make sure that the field position and the positioning of the players on the field is correct. We're looking a lot at the rapid ball movement, interchangeable positions, and working with different systems in order to let our players shine. It's definitely a building process. We're nowhere close to the end phase. Right now, we're just at a point of improving the boys that we have, getting a new number of boys in that fit into the philosophy, and keep building it that way.
Is there any kind of pressure on you to do better than Warri Wolves did last season? Because the thinking is that last season they got a second on the log, lost the title I think on the penultimate week of the season. What's the target this season? How do you intend to do one better? Is that a possibility for you, your first season in charge of Warri Wolves?
It is a possibility. I think from a perspective of course, it's a sport where winning is important, result is important. But the leading of the club, the management of the club also understands that there's a building process since so many players left the club last year. It's basically a brand new group of guys that we have to build and rebuild. And management is understanding that. So in that sense, I don't have any pressure in having to win the league right now. But everybody wants to win, and every single club in our league will have that desire. And we're one of those clubs as well.
Oh yeah, let me come to you now, because the Nigerian league is a lot more competitive. Your players have to play a lot of games. Injuries could come in at some point. And last season, Warri Wolves were one of the teams that pushed Enyimba up to the final day. But this season, most of those guys have gone, and goal scoring has looked like a little bit like a problem for Warri Wolves. Although over the weekend they got today, they didn't get any.
Well, when you allow top quality players, not just ordinary players, top quality players who leave a team. We're talking about regular national team players, Bola Salami, Stanley Dingba, and the rest. There's no way it's not going to affect the team. And if you don't recruit almost immediately the same level of players, the same quality that left, like he said, it's going to amount to a rebuilding process. I don't really envy his job, but anything is possible in football. If he's able to get the philosophy, like he said, across to the players, and the players have self-belief in their coach and in what he's preaching, then they can do it. They have shown some abilities so far. They went to Shooting Stars of Ibadan. They got the desired results. They got the 3 points there. So what it means is that perhaps the input of the new technical crew is beginning to manifest in the results of the team. So for me, let's see how they progress as the season continues. But it's going to be a Herculean task for the technical crew and the management, because a lot of players, these are first-team players for the national team, for the under-23 team, some flying eagles. These are players that can wreck any team, like you said. Bola Salami, they gave Enyimba a run for their money last season.
Up to the last day of the season.
Up to the last day of the season. So, but with what he said, he's speaking with a lot of confidence. Maybe from what he has seen, he's the man in charge. He trains with the players every day. So we cannot begin to say whether they can do as well as they did last season or not. But as the season progresses, then we can begin to.
There's an issue that we need to talk about, although Ard wasn't around last season with Warri Wolves, and it was the issue of players' welfare. Because for so many weeks and months, the boys were always complaining. You talked about looking for training time. Instead of these guys to train, they were carrying placards, protests, and all of that. That was a big issue for Warri Wolves last season. But I'm not sure you are used to that kind of environment.
No, I coached in many different countries, but I think Nigeria as a league, I understand that 16 out of the 20 teams are state-owned. Of course, we're coming out of recession worldwide. The economy is hurting. I'm sure that impacts football as well. Since I'm Dutch, I just came here and read a Dutch newspaper real quick, and there's a very famous Dutch club called Pt.1, who was a champion was it 6 years ago? And they were just put into the second tier league because of their finances.
Put into administration.
Yeah, they put administration, and they just were put in the second league. So it's a worldwide problem. And good news on my behalf in Warri Wolves is the players have been paid. All in all, the atmosphere is very positive, but ultimately, from a coaching perspective, it's very important to appeal to the passion element of things, because ultimately, once you cross that sideline and you're on the field, passion rules, and all the other stuff around, but also regarding welfare, is not at that moment that important. The moment we get off the field, then we have to address these type of things.
All right. This season is just about the mid-season. For you, what would you look at the first round of the season has been the high point so far for you?
Well, not so much of a surprise. Just today, Rivers United went back to the summit. It has been Rangers, Rivers United,
Abia
Warriors. It has not been a steady dominance for the season. So I think not much highlight. But when you look at the performance of MFM, the way they play, yes, they've dropped points at home. Drew three games at home, but they've been able to put the crowd at Agege Stadium, and I think it's a positive one for the Nigerian league. And we also saw Friday night games being played at night. The Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, huge crowd came out to watch that game between Rangers and Nasarawa United. So these are the positives, and we just hope that the momentum could be sustained. And these teams have also recorded away victories. Enyimba going to Kano in a very difficult terrain and securing.
After Enyimba went there, Atlant went there,
and drew. And these are good omen for the Nigerian league. We just hope that by the time the second stanza starts, the teams would have
see better football,
look at where they can fortify the teams and move on. We want good football, most importantly, so that the fans can return. When you guarantee good football anywhere, people will come and watch. We have seen home fans even booing their home teams because the away teams played very well. So that's what we want. We don't want violence. Go anywhere, believe in yourself, in your team, and play good football.
We're going to come back to the results of the games played today, and of course the drama that happened in Ilorin later on. But before we do that, let me come back to Ard Cluis and talk about what you've seen this season. I'm sure you've traveled around some venues already in Nigeria. Lagos is not the first place where you're watching the game. You've been around with Warri Wolves since the beginning of the season. When they crashed out of the continent, you were there, you saw the game.
No, I just came in just after that.
Yeah, you just came in after they crashed out of the continent. What can you say about the games you've seen? The attitude of our teams when they play away from home, the attitude when they play at home, and the quality of the football that you've seen. And from all the games that you've handled as a coach, as a technical advisor of Warri Wolves, what for you have been the standout games, the standout teams that you can, readily talk about as being the positive lights so far this season?
Well, I think there's a number of things to add what you're just saying. We beat Abia, we beat we just lost to Enfield.
We beat Sunshine on Sunday.
We beat Sunshine on Sunday. So we beat the top teams. So it tells me that we can most definitely compete with the current clubs already. But to go back to the quality of players.